Welcome back to War Thunder and welcome aboard the B29 and later on the Tu4. And those two silver siblings are the core of the discussion of this video. I will not comment too much on the actual gameplay. I do actually absolutely no editing to the footage. This is the raw gameplay and that then shows you the problems. I played 3 games, 1 in the Tu4 and then later on 2 in the B29. In the first match with the B29 I was shut down, and this is the second match in the B29 and I show it first. Now, why do I mention those bombers? I said that I will do high tier gameplay for planes, jets and so on. Well, both are prop bombers, but they are the key factor of problems when you have to deal with bombers, because both have enough bomb load to actually decide the outcome of a game, which is rather rare these days. Now, especially the Tu4 is really a thorn in both eyes in my point of view. Yeah, and I want to just point out that the Tu4 is very similar in the overall construction to the B29. The history behind it is that in the Second World War, at the end where America bombed, carpet bombed Japan, they had to fly a long distance, and when they were damaged by fighters or AAA or whatever, they had to do an emergency landing, and the closest area was actually the Soviet Union, which did not actually actively fight against Japan, because the majority of, or most of the time, they were still busy, dealing with Nazi Germany. However, then some of the planes landed in the Soviet Union, and they were not really captured, but the pilots returned to America, but the planes not, and they were then reverse engineered, and then America had, or the Soviet Union rather, had practically brand new bombers at their disposal, but they modified them. They gave them stronger defensive armament. They practically exchanged the 50 cals for 23mm gun turrets, and also made the bomb load stronger, and also made the engines stronger. And that results in the B29 having a battle rating of 6.3 with the introduction of the plane a while now at 6.7, and the Tu4 actually then was introduced at 6.3 on the dev server 10 months ago, and I was like, what the hell, it doesn't belong there. But I did not really embrace the full magnitude of problem that this plane will cause. And since then the Tu4 was bumped up to finally 8.0. That is where the majority of jets are. And now we actually can see the problem that the actual thing goes in, and that is that the Tu4 is biased as all hell. Why? Well, it just perfectly fits into the realistic battle manner. And later on, when we come to the results, we see that the B29 is not bad, but you have to put more effort into flying it than the Tu4. Believe me that I'm a very experienced bomber pilot, at least with prop bombers, and it just is very dubious how the Tu4 performs still today, after 10 months, after numerous nerfs, after numerous adjustments, after adjustments that the community before the introduction of the Tu4 asked for a long time, the limitation of bombers to 4 per game. Now guess what? You have 3 or 4 Tu4s per game, and the Tu4 practically demolishes the high tier jet gameplay when you have to fight the Russians, because you just can't intercept it in time, and even if you manage somehow to get into a position, you do not have enough speed. It's very difficult to intercept the Tu4 regardless of the plane, and the planes that actually could do it you actually don't face. R2Y2s, outside from mixed matches, you don't face them. I wonder why. And then there is the bomb load. Now let's talk about the bomb load, and this is the part where numbers massively lie. Now I just did a bit of research within the stat cards of War Thunder, and it says that the American 1,000-pound bombs have 240.4 kilograms of TNT filling. That's a fact. Now, how many 1,000-pound bombs do you need for a mini base? Well, we just saw it a bit ago. It was exactly 4. You needed more than 3, and that was a bit of a waste of TNT equivalent. So the TNT equivalent is 240.4 kilograms for the American bombs. And now we come to the Tu4, and there it has a special bomb load of 8 1.5 ton bombs. Now guess how much TNT equivalent they have. Let's have a quick look at it. And there we go. 675 kilograms of pure TNT. Now if you take 240.4 times 3, you end up with 720 kilograms. But that has not the same effect on a mini base or a bombing point than a single 1.5 ton bomb with 675 kilograms of TNT filling. So it must be the absolute weight of the bombs, and that then makes sense if it gets calculated through that. But on the other hand, why do you actually list the TNT filling and high explosive equivalent? Because that does not, calculate it like that. So that's a bit of a disappointment. But what in actual matter this means is that the B29 has to waste a little bit of its actual bomb load to secure the kill on a mini base. And that was after the adjustment, but the 1.5 ton bomb is still exactly enough to take down a bombing point with 1 bomb. So you have 8 of them, so you can delete all 3 of them by 1 Tu4 and then still have over half of your bomb load for the rest of the airfield, as we will see in the upcoming gameplay. So 8.93 tons is the maximum you can get out of a B29 if you drop all your bombs on the airfield without any loss. With dropping on 1 and then the rest on the airfield, you get 8.22. Now guess how much you can get out of the Tu4, which is practically the silver sibling. A bit more, let's put it that way. And you can see, beautiful, beautiful. We have 4 Tu4s. Who would have guessed? And again, the major opponent that you have to outplay is the other Tu4s. 10 months ago, I made a video on the Tu4, and it was hotly discussed, and I ranted a lot, and not much has effectively changed. You still dive in, drop your bombs, and get out within a few minutes without doing nothing. So the first game took around about, 7.5 minutes. And, a bit of a spoiler alert, the other game here in the Tu4 will not take longer. We are here obviously on Korea, and we are in a full up tier. We are in a 9.0 game. How do you know this, Napalm? Well, we see some hunters, and that's the problem. You cannot intercept a Tu4 with the majority of planes that you have at your disposal. And the Tu4 has such a brutal reputation that it just doesn't make sense trying to intercept it. And so the Tu4 is the perfect grinder for all the planes that are in the game for the Russians and will get into the game. Put a talisman on this plane and just repetitively just fly in, dive in, drop the bombs, and get a hefty amount of not just civil lines, but also research points, as we will say later on. So we here approach the first base, and yeah, let's just see how it goes. I drop exactly 1 bomb. So then there is the negative effect for the Russian side as well, for the Soviet side. Why is there a bad effect? You win the games. What's bad about this? Yeah, but as a normal chat, as a normal, MiG-9, LA-15, LA-174 you don't have anything from it because you rarely have time enough to get yourself into position and engage the enemy. The complete meta is turnaround. You have to rush. You have to engage the enemy. You have to potentially throw away advantages to have the chance in a head-on or in a turn fight, whatever, because your time is literally very limited. Thanks to the Tu4, because the Tu4 will bomb the bases, your tickets will bleed down, and that's the end of the match. At the end of the match, the majority of players are very often still alive. And that's a problem. Now, I'm glad for those players that they didn't die, but they also didn't get any kills. And even if, it's not a really nice feeling, is it? Even if there are masterminds out there, they have adopted to this meta. No doubt about that, there are some specialists out there. I have no doubt about that. But I doubt that they will really enjoy it. The perfect solution for this problem was to just simply remove the Tu4. This plan is so powerful. If you change nothing about it, the battle rating doesn't matter. The battle rating does not matter. And that's a problem. If a plane is too powerful regardless of the battle rating, it's broken. It has to get removed out of RB. Even in arcade, I guess, this is a plane nobody really wants to deal with. And again, you really don't... Yeah, you don't really have to deal with your natural enemies. On a regular basis, except for mixed matches, I don't encounter R2Y2s. And if there is a B29 flying next to me, guess who the R2Y2 is going for? Not for me with the 23mm gunners. And yes, they work. It's not like on the I301 or all the Russian high-tier jets. They might have the same belts or the same guns. In fact, they don't have the same belts. But it doesn't matter, because those 23mm work. And then there is the disastrously awesome damage model of the Tu4. There was a time when the Tu4 was a little bit more fragile. And look at this damage. Wow. Look at the income. This is just absurd. I'm shocked. I have to go into a shower. I have to shower. This is dirty as all hell. It requires no skill. It's stupid as hell. It's breaking the game. It's a problem for over 10 months. Nothing has really changed. And every change was in favor of a Tu4. Can you imagine that? The Tu4 is one of two planes that can decide the outcome of the battle. It's practically, I say practically, untouchable. And every theoretical effort deals in taking out one Tu4. Now, there are American bombers with rockets fighting cancers. Videos have been done. Maybe I might also have done one about them. And I featured one in the F-86A5. Back when the damage model was a bit reworked, 50 cals did work. And you could take out Tu4s decently, you know, when you put yourself into, you know, the right position. But all that is about one prop plane in a jet fighter environment. All the problems that we have in jets are named by Tu4, battle rating, compression, and imbalance. And also the lack of reliable guns. 12.1 tons and 4,097 points for literally doing nothing, for actually diving in less than 8 minutes. Around about 7 minutes. That's dirty as all hell. Let's have a quick look at the results. And without any booster, without talisman, and just with a premium account, I got 97,000 civil lines and 7,300 research points. For doing nothing. For doing nothing. And that's the problem with the Tu4. I have no words for this. It should have been fixed a long time ago. And in the upcoming high-tier chat gameplay, I will no further try to mention it. I try not to mention it. So that's it for me today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Obviously, let me know in the comment section your thoughts about this plan and your experience with it. Do you have any dark sorcery tips how to deal with it? Let me know. Anyways, give this video a like if it did. It helps out the channel greatly. Subscribe if you want to see more. And we'll see each other in the skies of War Thunder.